This weekend could quietly mark the beginning of a new phase for the Los Angeles Lakers. And while there's no guarantee of a blockbuster trade or a splashy free agent signing, all signs point to something moving behind the scenes. It might not be the kind of headline that shakes up the league, but it could be a shift that matters more than people think. One of the first expected steps is the waiving of Shake Milton, something that seems all but confirmed to happen by Saturday. But here's the thing, when a player gets waived in this kind of situation, especially during the off-season window we're in now, it's usually a precursor to something else. Teams don't just clear a roster spot to let it sit empty. You make space because you're looking to fill it, and that's where it gets interesting. Now, Shake Milton might not be a major piece in the Lakers' current plans, but the idea that they're about to create an opening on the roster suggests that they're preparing to act. Whether it's bringing in a veteran on a minimum deal or making a strategic move to bolster their depth, something is brewing, and while it's totally possible that the only move we see over the next couple of days is Milton's departure, there's a growing sense that it's just the first domino. The Lakers don't tend to make changes like this in a vacuum, especially not with Summer League wrapping up and front offices across the league returning to business mode. Speaking of Summer League, the Lakers have their consolation game lined up against the Denver Nuggets, a final opportunity to get a look at the younger guys, some of whom may end up on two-way deals or even sneak onto the end of the regular season roster. But once that final buzzer sounds, the focus shifts hard back to the main roster and the work Rob Pelinka has been quietly doing in the background. There's been a lot of talk since before Summer League even began that Pelinka was going to stay active, making calls, exploring trade frameworks, evaluating available free agents, and waiting for the right post-Summer League window to strike. That moment is arriving. Summer League is a weirdly calm time across the NBA. Sure, you get the occasional big-name free agent deal or unexpected trade, but for the most part, it's a holding period. Executives, agents, and scouts are all in Vegas watching the next wave of talent, having casual conversations, checking in with one another, and sometimes that's exactly what sets the stage for deals to materialize. You're not hammering out final details courtside, but those friendly chats can evolve into something real once everyone gets back to their offices. It's networking with a purpose. And this is where the Lakers can really start to make things happen. They're not chasing the Summer League title. Their young core already got a solid look, and now it's about tuning the main roster. Most of the other teams they're potentially dealing with are also done with Summer League responsibilities. So trade talks or free agent discussions that began informally in Vegas can now get formal. This coming week, the days right after Summer League, that's usually when things quietly ramp up around the league and the Lakers are in a position to capitalize. There's a chance we see an actual signing happen almost in tandem with Milton's release, maybe not literally at the same moment, but it wouldn't be shocking to see the news of his waiver followed within hours by the announcement of a new addition. That's how these things sometimes go. Quiet move followed by an instant plug-in. It makes sense if you know who you want, and you know you're cutting someone to make room. You don't wait around. You act out among the names floating around. DeAnthony Milton might be the most talented free agent still out there. He's got age on his side. He defends, he can shoot, and more importantly, he's not just a short-term rental. He's the type of guy who could fit into your system now and still be relevant and valuable to or 3 years down the line. He's a smart investment if the Lakers can get him. But there's a lot of noise suggesting that he might be leaning toward the Warriors. Maybe for basketball reasons, maybe for personal ones. Either way, that might take him off the board. If Milton isn't an option, the Lakers still have strong alternatives. Josh Okogie is one that really stands out. He's exactly what they need right now. A tenacious point-of-attack defender who can guard multiple positions. At 6'4" with an absurd wingspan nearing 7 feet, he brings the kind of physical profile that lets him switch across the perimeter and hold his own against top-tier guards and even some wings. And unlike some defensive specialists, he's not a complete offensive liability. Last season with Phoenix, he shot 38% from beyond the arc. If he can come anywhere close to replicating that in Los Angeles, you suddenly have a very interesting piece on both ends of the floor. Defensive versatility is something the Lakers are clearly prioritizing. All the reports from within the organization point to that. They're hunting for guys who can stay in front of the ball, disrupt rhythm, and force turnovers. And Okogie checks all those boxes. People talk about Matty Stibble as the gold standard for this type of role, but Okogie is in that same mold, and in some areas, You could argue he's a better fit, especially if that outside shot holds up. Another name that's picking up steam is Gary Payton too. There's been chatter about him for a while. But now that he's signed with Bill Duffy, the agent, who represents Luka Doncic, the speculation is heating up. The Lakers have been linked to Payton before, but with Duffy now in the mix, and considering the relationships that tend to shape roster building, it wouldn't be surprising to see the Lakers move on him more aggressively. Sometimes, these things come down to who you know and what that network can do for you. The Rich Paul connection to clutch clients is well documented. We've seen it impact Lakers signings time and again, so now, maybe Duffy becomes a new pipeline. Signing someone like Gary Payton to a veteran minimum deal could make a ton of sense. He's not going to cost you a chunk of your exception. He fills a specific defensive need. And he comes with the kind of playoff-tested experience that this roster can use. He's undersized for a wing, yes, but his effort, strength, and instincts make up for a lot of that. Plus, adding him could grease the wheels for future dealings with Duffy and his camp, something that might matter more than people think when it comes to long-term team building. The Lakers are in a position where they have to be smart with every move. The margin for error isn't massive, but the opportunity to get significantly better is still there. That's why the decision around how to use their biannual exception is so important. You're not giving that to just anyone. It's not worth using on a player you could get for the minimum. So while someone like Gary Payton might be appealing, you don't burn the exception on him. You reserve that tool for someone who's actually worth that premium if and when that kind of deal becomes available. Same goes for Okogie. He's good, he's valuable, but are you paying $7 million for him right now? Maybe not. You try to get him for less, you keep your flexibility, and let's not forget the big picture. All these moves, whether it's bringing in Okogie, Payton, or someone else, they all tie back to one core issue the Lakers are trying to address: defense. This team has enough firepower, with LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Adrian. Assuming that trio forms the core, you're not worried about scoring. You're going to put up points. What you need are the players who can make key stops, pressure the ball, switch effectively, and survive deep playoff rotations. That's what separates contenders from pretenders. In that context, Okogie becomes even more appealing. He's basically Jared Vanderbilt in the backcourt. High motor, elite defense, developing shot, and if Vanderbilt ends up being your starting forward, having a guard who brings that same defensive tone could give the Lakers a really balanced identity. You don't need them both to be lights out from deep. You just need them to be good enough that defenses can't ignore them. 35% from three is more than enough. If you're locking up the opposing backcourt and forcing turnovers, that's the trade-off. That's the value. And look, the reality is, true 3-and-D wings are the hottest commodity in the league. Everyone wants them. Nobody is giving them up. If they're available, they cost a fortune. That's why you have to be creative. You find guys who can defend at a high level, and who might be one or two tweaks away from being reliable shooters. That's where the upside is. That's how you win on the margins. So when we talk about Shake Milton getting waived, it's not just a minor transactional note. It could be the first crack in the wall before something real comes through. Maybe the Lakers use that spot to sign a guy like Okogie. Maybe it's Payton. Maybe it's someone else that we're not even talking about yet. But there's a clear direction being formed here, and the signs are pointing toward defense, youth, versatility, and smart contracts. If something is going to happen, this is probably when it goes down. The summer league distractions are ending. The front office has done its homework. Conversations have been started. Now it's about executing. Keep an eye out, because once that first piece moves, the rest could follow quickly. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. The NBA rumor mill is buzzing with an intriguing potential trade between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Utah Jazz that could shake up the Western Conference landscape. Sources close to the team suggest the Lakers are considering a deal to send Rui Hachimura to the Jazz in exchange for LAURI Markkanen. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the chatter among insiders and fans alike is growing louder as the possibility of this swap gains traction. LAURI Markkanen, known for his scoring ability and shooting range as a versatile power forward, has been a notable presence with Utah, showcasing an improved all-around game. His ability to stretch the floor with consistent three-point shooting could be a valuable asset for the Lakers, who are always on the lookout for players that fit their dynamic offensive schemes. MARKKANEN's skill set might complement the Lakers' current core, potentially providing them with more spacing and offensive firepower around their stars. On the other side, Rui Hachimura, a promising forward with a strong physical presence and developing offensive skills, has been gaining attention for his potential to be a key contributor. The Jazz might view Hachimura as a player with untapped upside who could bring energy and versatility to their roster. His ability to defend multiple positions and contribute on both ends of the floor aligns with Utah's team identity, which values toughness and adaptability. This rumored trade raises many questions about the team's strategic directions. Are the Lakers looking to shake up their lineup and inject fresh scoring options? Could the Jazz be planning to retool their roster with a younger, more versatile forward like Hachimura? Both teams have playoff aspiration, and a trade like this might signal bold moves to improve their chances. Fans and analysts are speculating about the timing and motivations behind this potential deal. With the NBA trade deadline approaching, the pressure to finalize impactful moves is intensifying. The Lakers, always in pursuit of championship contention, might see MARKKANEN as the missing piece to bolster their front court depth. Meanwhile, the Jazz could be looking to add a player who fits their long-term vision and complements their style of play. As with all rumors, nothing is set in stone yet, and both teams could still decide to hold their cards close. However, the excitement around this possible swap reflects the high stakes and constant evolution in the NBA, where player movement can drastically alter team fortunes overnight. Fans will be watching closely for any developments, hoping for updates that could confirm or deny this intriguing Lakers-Jazz trade scenario. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.